Hi friends! Someone in your life has feelings they haven't fully expressed yet. Maybe the timing is complicated, maybe they're holding back, or maybe you've been sensing something beneath the surface but you're not sure what it is. In today's reading, we're uncovering their secret feelings toward you, what they're not saying, what they're struggling with internally, and whether they're likely to take action. In a moment, you'll choose between 4 piles, either by number or by the crystal that you're drawn to. Trust your first instinct. Timestamps are below so you can go straight to your reading. We have pile 1 here with yellow calcite, pile 2 with aragonite, pile 3 with smoky quartz, and pile 4 with moss agate. Pause the video if you need more time to choose. Otherwise, let's get into the reading and I'll see you on the inside. Hi pile 1, hey friends. Let's talk about the energy between you. We have Temperance in reverse. So I'm wondering if any of you here feel like the energy between you and this person feels a bit off balance. Not toxic necessarily, but uneven. Maybe there's someone who gives more or someone who pulls away more. And maybe the rhythm between you two isn't that smooth. It's almost like that feeling when conversations sometimes flow easily and other times they feel awkward. Or maybe one of you tries to keep things calm while the other person stirs emotional tension. I feel like this is the energy of timing never quite lining up. And maybe between you and this person, there's a situation where it's like 2 people trying to merge worlds that don't naturally blend. It's almost like this energy of like oil and water that occasionally swirl together, but they don't stay mixed. So maybe with you and this person, there's hot and cold texting patterns. Maybe one day they're engaged and they're asking questions and sending long replies, and the next day they disappear or answer with short messages. Maybe there's an emotional mismatch here where one person is ready to talk about their feelings and the other person keeps things at a surface level. And I also feel like this is the energy of life circumstances being out of sync. Like maybe one of you is navigating family stress or work pressure or personal healing, while the other wants closeness now. Maybe there's also the energy of having too much restraint, like maybe someone is holding back their true feelings to keep things from getting messy. For me, I can totally relate to this as well because I had periods where I knew that something was meaningful, but the timing or the emotional availability just wasn't aligned. And so pile 1, I want you to know that you can feel a connection, but there's also this subtle sense that maybe something isn't quite settling into place yet. And I feel like that tension between connection and imbalance, and I feel like that's the tension that we're talking about, the tension between connection and imbalance. We also have seer, see beyond the current situation. So I feel like this adds an interesting layer here because despite the imbalance, there's also this awareness here. Maybe you feel like someone is observing more than they're revealing, or maybe you're in a situation where you feel like someone is like watching your behavior or studying the dynamic or trying to understand what this connection actually means. So maybe they're looking beyond what's happening on the surface right now, or maybe vice versa. Maybe you are looking beyond what's happening below the surface right now. And so I feel like right now, not everything that they feel is being expressed. Like they notice the little things about you, maybe the way you talk about your passions or your humor or your emotional depth. They're also reflecting on past conversations, like maybe they're replaying things that you said or they're wondering what you meant about something. I also feel like they're comparing you to other people that they've known, and I feel like they're realizing that you stand out in some way. And so I feel like they're trying to determine whether this connection is temporary or meaningful. Maybe this is the energy of someone that's thinking, there's something here, but I'm not fully sure what to do with it yet. Next, I want to talk about their secret feelings. We have the 9 of Wands. So I feel like this is someone who feels emotionally guarded. I feel like they've been through things, not necessarily with you, but in life. And because of that, their feelings toward you probably come with some defense mechanisms. They may like you, they may respect you, or maybe they feel drawn to you, but I feel like they're also cautious. Maybe they don't fully trust relationships yet. Maybe they've been hurt, cheated on, or emotionally disappointed before. And so maybe they're holding back their vulnerability and maybe they're avoiding deep conversations about feelings. I feel like they're keeping emotional distance while also still kind of staying around. I'm envisioning like a shark circling, round and round. I feel like they don't leave, but they also don't fully open. And so I wonder if they're testing the situation slowly, and maybe they're watching to see if you're consistent. For me, I can relate to this energy in a different way as a recovering people pleaser, because when you've experienced unhealthy dynamics before, you can become more cautious about who you let close. So I wonder if they're thinking, I like this connection, but I need to protect myself. We also have wholeness, black mulberry, and we have Aquarius energy here. So this card is beautiful because it reveals something deeper about how they see you. I feel like they see you as somebody who's very self-contained. Maybe you're not someone who needs a relationship to feel complete. I feel like they see you as someone who doesn't seem like they need a relationship to feel complete. And I feel like that can be both attractive and intimidating. And with black mulberry and Aquarius energy, this is like very independent energy. So it's the vibe of someone who has their own world. They think differently than most people. I feel like they don't chase validation. And so I feel like you are naturally somebody who has your own world and you think differently than most people and you don't chase validation. I feel like you're not the kind of person who begs for attention. And if somebody pulls away, you focus on your own life. I feel like you have your own interests, your own creative outlets, whether that's spiritual work or content creation or personal growth or whatever that looks like to you. I feel like they also see you as somebody who doesn't seem easily controlled emotionally. Maybe you're thoughtful about where you invest your energy. And I also feel like maybe you come off as somebody who can be on their own and you're comfortable with being alone. I can totally relate to this too, Pile 1, because for me, building something like a YouTube channel or a creative path also carries this energy. When you step into your own lane, people can often sense that independence. And sometimes that makes others wonder, do they even need me in their life? Next, I want to talk about their inner conflict and pain points. We have the Two of Chalices, which is the Two of Cups. I feel like this shows that the connection itself is real. There is mutual recognition here. I feel like this is the moment when two people see each other and think, you get me. But here's where the conflict comes in, because sometimes recognizing a connection can also trigger fear. Maybe they feel emotionally understood by you, which is rare for them. And maybe they feel comfortable talking to you in a way that they don't with many people. I feel like they sense emotional chemistry, but they're unsure of what to do with it. And so I feel like they're worried about losing the connection if things become complicated. And so sometimes the hardest connections aren't the ones with no chemistry, Pile 2, Pile 1. They're the ones where chemistry is real, but the situation feels uncertain. We also have the Squirrel and Chestnut, preparation. This could be someone who's mentally going back and forth about the connection. It's almost like a squirrel who's gathering chestnuts. They're collecting thoughts and possibilities. So maybe they're trying to figure out, is this worth pursuing? What would it change in my life? What could go wrong? Again, I feel like they're analyzing conversations afterwards, or they're wondering if they said the right things. I feel like they're considering the practical implications like distance or timing or personal responsibilities. I feel like they're even trying to view the connection logically rather than emotionally, and I even think that they're asking their friends or maybe even people around them for advice about you. For me, I've seen this dynamic before when someone felt something real, but they overthought it instead of simply experiencing it. And so I feel like that's what this card is describing here. It's somebody who's thinking about the connection from every angle. Next, I want to talk about their desires and their intentions. We have the Six of Wands. So at their core, this person wants to feel proud of the connection. The Six of Wands is a very public energy, so I feel like it's someone who wants a connection that feels validating and uplifting and respected. They want to feel like choosing you would be a victory and not a complication. So I feel like they want a relationship that they're proud to talk about, and they want emotional support and admiration from their partner. They want to feel respected and appreciated, and they want to feel successful in love after past disappointments. So I feel like this person could be someone who likes being seen positively by the person that they care about. So I feel like your approval matters more than they want to admit to you. We also have release your ex. The time has come to close your energy. So here's where things get interesting, Pile 1, because this kind of suggests that their intentions are being blocked by something from the past. And it's not necessarily that they're still in love with their ex, but there might still be some emotional residue there. Like they're still healing from a previous breakup, or they're afraid of repeating past relationship mistakes. Maybe they're comparing new connections to old experiences. And I really do feel like they're being cautious about commitment because of past hurt. For me, I've noticed that when someone hasn't fully processed an old relationship, it doesn't always mean that they can't feel new emotions. It just means that they move slower and they hesitate more. Next, I want to talk about what happens next, and let's get some guidance for you here. We have the King of Coins in reverse, and this is the King of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel like this energy is very grounded. I feel like this is your reminder to stop over-investing your energy into someone who hasn't fully stabilized their own life yet. I feel like this is somebody who wants connection but isn't fully ready to show up consistently. Maybe they like you, but they're avoiding defining the relationship. Or they focus on work or money or personal responsibilities instead of emotional commitment. Maybe they show interest but not steady effort, and maybe they're struggling to provide stability right now. I feel like maybe the healthiest thing isn't chasing clarity here, but it's continuing to build your own stability and your own life, because that's what keeps your power balanced. Pile 1. We also have Tortoise, and this one says Tortoise. Lucky in several cultures around the world. Live lucky. The tortoise is one of the 4 fabulous animals, China's most revered beasts and guardians of feng shui. The others are the phoenix, the dragon, and the tiger. It symbolizes protection and longevity. Owing to its long life, and in Hinduism, the tortoise is believed to be one of the 10 incarnations of the god Vishnu. How to capture luck. Place a wooden or stone tortoise at the back of the house or outside by a pond. You can also place it in your office to bring you luck in your career. I feel like this tortoise card is bringing the overall message home. This energy is slow, it's steady, and it's intentional. So the tortoise represents things like long-term vision rather than having these like rushed outcomes. And so I feel like some guidance around this is to let the connection unfold naturally instead of forcing answers. I think that this is you focusing on your own growth and your own creative path. And maybe you want to observe their actions over time rather than their words, and really allow your relationships to prove themselves through consistency. I can relate to this as well. Pile 1, because for me, as someone who's building a life that includes motherhood, independence, and creative work, the tortoise energy feels very familiar. I feel like you're learning that the most meaningful things in life, like stability and financial freedom and healthy relationships and love, they often grow slowly and steadily, and that's the energy that we're speaking about with your reading here overall. I feel like it's not based on urgency, but it's based on patience. I would love to get you some tea leaf fortune cards here. Let's find out more about what Pile 1 needs to know. We have Rooster, an arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. Whale, great worry over nothing. Dagger, fear, worries, tense situations. You also have Moon, changing your life. And you have Bouquet, compliments from an admirer. Okay, so this is very interesting. With Rooster here, I feel like pride or ego is involved. Maybe this person acts confident or defensive or even a bit arrogant around you so that they can protect their feelings. With Whale here, I feel like they're emotionally overwhelmed, and maybe that's magnifying their worries or their sadness about the situation. We also have Dagger, fear, worries, and tense situations. So there's this tension or this fear of conflict here, and maybe they're feeling like the situation between you two is delicate and maybe even risky. We have Moon, changes in your life. Maybe their feelings or your feelings are changing and evolving. And I feel like there's this energy of you occupying their thoughts more than they admit. We also have Bouquet, compliments from an admirer. So despite everything, there is this genuine admiration. They notice your qualities, and I feel like they do want to compliment or please you in some way. So I do feel like they admire you, but again, they feel emotionally stirred up about it. Maybe things like pride or fear of tension or overthinking are making them handle these things in a very guarded or complicated way. Let's also get a rune for you. What else does pile 1 need to know? Okay, you have Berkana. Berkana as a rune talks about growth and softness and emotional renewal. So I feel like this person sees you as very nurturing or healing. You're somebody that brings a sense of comfort or new life into that emotional world. I also feel like this is representative of feelings being in a stage of growth, like maybe something's developing slowly rather than already fully formed. And I think that they associate you with a fresh start or a more gentle chapter in their life. I feel like there's also this protective instinct toward you or the connection. So I think that beneath the tension and the pride, I feel like there's this sense that you represent something meaningful that could grow if it was handled carefully. Let's also get you some astro dice. Okay, so you've got Wednesday. Wednesday could be a significant day. And then we also have December. So December, Wednesday, those could be significant times for you. And then we also have Neptune in the 11th house. So I feel like this speaks to being idealistic and using your intuition. This speaks to idealism and intuition in your friendships and your community and in your future goals. I feel like maybe this is like spiritual or psychic connection with groups. Maybe you attract mystical, artistic, or spiritual friends. I also think that you probably have big humanitarian dreams, like you're probably wanting to help or inspire this collective change. I think that this could also represent blurred boundaries with friends, like there's this risk of projecting ideals onto people or feeling disappointed when reality shows up. And I feel like this is going to be really important because this placement often thrives in digital or collective spaces. So I feel like the gift here is your intuitive understanding of group energy and your ability to inspire people with a vision. And I think that the challenge here is learning more discernment so that you don't over-idealize friends or audiences or communities. Thank you so much, friends. If this resonated with you and you'd like to go deeper, I do offer private tarot readings where we can look specifically at your situation. You can also join the channel memberships if you want access to exclusive pick-a-card readings. All of that is linked below. And if you enjoyed today's reading, remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Let me know in the comments which pile you chose. Sending you so much love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all. Hi, Pile 2. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. So let's talk about the energy between you. We have the Emperor. So right away, the energy between you and this person feels structured and intentional and a little serious. This isn't the type of connection where things feel chaotic or confusing all the time. Instead, it feels like someone here, possibly them, is trying to keep control of the situation. The Emperor energy is someone who likes stability and prefers clear roles and wants to feel like they're making smart decisions. So I feel like the dynamic between you may have moments where things feel very grounded or respectful, but also a bit guarded emotionally. Maybe this person keeps emotional boundaries, or they don't overshare their feelings quickly. Maybe they approach the connection logically, and instead of diving headfirst into their emotions, they think about compatibility and timing. I feel like they want to maintain their independence and their authority, and they don't want to feel like they're losing control of their life for a relationship. So I feel like they want to appear composed around you, even if they feel something deeper inside. For me, I've seen this energy show up when someone respects you and takes you seriously, but they're also careful not to reveal too much emotionally too soon. It's like they're thinking, let me understand the situation before I let myself get fully involved. We also have Sun, enjoy success and happiness. Now, this card adds a really positive layer to the connection because despite the controlled energy of the Emperor, being around you genuinely makes them feel good. I feel like the Sun energy is simple and it's honest. So this person experiences moments of lightness and happiness when they're interacting with you. Maybe your conversations lift their mood, even if they were stressed before talking to you. I think that they feel relaxed around you in a way that they don't with everyone. And I feel like they enjoy your personality and your humor, and you definitely bring this sense of warmth into their day. I feel like sometimes the sun shows a connection where someone is quietly thinking, I didn't expect this person to brighten my life the way that they do. And for me, I can totally relate to this kind of energy when I meet someone whose presence just makes life feel a little bit lighter, especially during stressful periods like balancing motherhood or work and personal growth. So I feel like you may have had that effect on this person. Next, I want to talk about their secret feelings. We have the King of Cups in reverse. So I feel like this person has emotions, but they aren't handling them well. Like maybe their feelings are very strong, but they're suppressed or unstable or poorly expressed. They could feel emotionally overwhelmed by what they feel for you around showing it, and maybe there's even like this moodiness or jealousy or insecurity that they're not admitting. They might care, but they don't trust themselves to handle the emotional responsibility of the connection. And so in some cases, maybe they withdrew emotionally, or maybe they acted indifferent as a way to stay in control. So I wonder if this person could be a bit like emotionally manipulative, or maybe even a little passive aggressive, or maybe they've sent you mixed signals instead of being straightforward about how they feel. So there are feelings present here, pile 2, but they're unprocessed and emotionally immature right now. So what they show externally may not match what they're actually feeling on the inside. We also have productivity, Kent Pumpkin, and we have Cancer energy here. I feel like they see you as someone who is productive and nurturing and capable of building something meaningful. To them, I feel like you represent stability and emotional intelligence and someone who can create a home or a supportive environment. So maybe they see you as someone who works hard towards your goals, or they view you as emotionally dependable. Maybe there's someone who shows up for the people that they care about because you are someone who shows up for the people that you care about. They admire your ability to balance responsibilities, and I feel like they see long-term qualities in you. You know, the type of traits that someone would want to see in a serious partner. And for me, I resonate with this energy so much because as a work-from-home mom who is building her creative work and independence, I've noticed that when someone else observes that kind of life-building effort, they often respect it deeply. So maybe that's something that you can relate to with this situation as well. Next, I want to talk about their inner conflict and pain points. We have the 8 of Coins in reverse, which is the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Ooh, okay, so here is where the struggle appears. The 8 of Pentacles in reverse can talk about a lack of focus or feeling uncertain about the effort that you're putting in. So this is not necessarily laziness, but it's more like, do I want to invest the work that this connection would require? Because relationships require emotional and practical effort, and this person may be questioning whether they have the capacity for that right now. So again, I feel like they feel overwhelmed by work or personal responsibilities. I feel like they feel unsure whether they can give the relationship the attention it deserves, and maybe they struggle with consistency in relationships. I think that they could be scared of starting something that they can't maintain, and I feel like they're thinking that, okay, I do like this person, but do I have the time or energy to build something real? We also have the Raccoon and Sycamore, Curiosity. With this, I feel like they have a lot of mental curiosity about you. They're very intrigued and they observe you and they think about what you're like when they're not around. So maybe this person is checking your social media or asking mutual friends about you. Maybe they're wondering about your life story or your past relationships. I feel like they notice small details about your personality and they're curious about what being in a relationship with you would actually feel like. I think that curiosity is often the stage when someone is still trying to understand who you are before they decide how to deeply invest emotionally. With that being said, I would love to talk about their desires and their intentions. We have the Queen of Coins here, and this is the Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like this is showing what they value in relationships. The Queen of Pentacles is someone who is warm and reliable and stable and who can provide emotional support. So interestingly, they probably see you as somebody who embodies this energy. Like maybe they want a partner who creates a peaceful home life, or they want someone supportive and dependable. I think that they admire people who have nurturing personalities like yours, and they want a relationship that feels secure rather than chaotic. This reminds me of building a life that balances family and emotional connection and practical stability. That's the type of relationship that they actually want, pile 2. We also have unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So I feel like this doesn't necessarily mean that they don't like you, but I feel like it means something about the connection that doesn't fully feel aligned for one of the people involved. So there may be emotional admiration and respect and care, but the romantic chemistry or the timing might feel off or uncertain. Like maybe they care about you, but they don't feel ready for a relationship. Or maybe this is vice versa. Maybe they respect you, but they worry that the dynamic could become complicated. I wonder if some of you here are friends with this person, and maybe this person's worried about messing up that dynamic if things were to go wrong, if you took things romantically. That's just going to be for specific some of you here. So I feel like in this connection, somebody feels that emotional connection, but they're questioning some romantic compatibility here. Like maybe somebody feels like the relationship would require sacrifices that they're not sure that they could make right now. And so I feel like someone in this connection is thinking, hey, this person is wonderful, but I'm not sure if this is meant to become a relationship, like a full-blown relationship. So let's talk about what happens next and get some guidance for you. We have the High Priestess. So I feel like the guidance here is to not chase clarity from this person. Your power is in observing quietly and trusting your intuition. You don't have to force answers, pile 2. I feel like it would be a good idea to watch their actions rather than asking them for explanations, and to allow the connection to reveal itself naturally over time. This is you trusting the subtle signals that you're already noticing and maintaining your emotional boundaries. For me, when I see the High Priestess show up, it comes up when you already know the truth about the situation deep down. And this is you not needing to overanalyze it. We also have astrology. So this one says, astrology, lucky in several cultures around the world. And this increases your luck. Each zodiac sign has a color that is often considered lucky and can bring success and growth. Here's a list so you can identify the color that is luckiest for your sign. Aries, red; Taurus, green; Gemini, yellow; Cancer, white or silver; Leo, gold; Virgo, green; Libra, light blue; Scorpio, black; Sagittarius, orange; Capricorn, brown; Aquarius, blue; and Pisces, sea green. How to capture your luck: boost your luck and live more confidently by using your zodiac specific color in different areas of your everyday life. I'm so curious to know some of your zodiac signs here. Drop them in the comments if you feel called to. I am a Taurus sun, so I guess my lucky color is green. Let me know what your sign is and what your lucky color is in the comments. I'm so curious, friends. And you know I love to chat with you all in the comments. But with this astrology card here, I feel like this brings in more information about timing and cycles. I feel like not everything in relationships happens because someone did something right or wrong. Sometimes timing simply just isn't aligned yet. So I feel like this could represent two people meeting during very different life stages. Again, maybe this is someone's personal responsibilities making relationships difficult to pursue. I think that there's, again, this energy of like emotional readiness not being synchronized yet. And I feel like maybe there's going to be a connection that appears again later when circumstances change. I feel like astrology energy reminds us that life moves in cycles, and sometimes people cross paths to learn something from each other rather than to build a long-term relationship immediately. Let's get more info from our tea leaf fortune cards. Oh my gosh, so many. What else does pile 2 need to know? Chair filled. Someone new is entering your life. Cane, pay attention to your health. And dog, close up. Pleasure with a close friend. With cane, pay attention to your health. I feel like this talks directly to stress. I don't know if like this relationship is stressing you out. We have man, dealings or relationship with a man. And then we also have nest. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. I feel like this message is pretty straightforward. Be on the lookout for a new person entering your life, or maybe this new person is stepping into an important role around you. With Cain here, pay attention to your health. I feel like this is your call to watch your energy, watch your stress levels. Don't overextend yourself physically or emotionally. We also have dog, close up, pleasure with a close friend. So I feel like maybe you'll be spending some time with a really good friend, a loyal friend, a supportive ally, and they're going to bring you a lot of joy and comfort during this time. We also have man, dealings or relationship with a man. So I don't know if the person in mind is a man or has masculine features. I just feel like this is the energy of you having an opportunity to have a direct interaction or significant situation involving somebody with masculine energy. We also have nest, an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. So I feel like this is almost reflective of your decisions being strongly influenced by your desire for emotional security and family stability and a safe home base. So I feel like I just got this. Maybe a new person, possibly a man or somebody with masculine energy, is going to enter your life through or around a friend, but maybe the situation will push you to prioritize your well-being and what truly supports a stable, loving home life. Whether this is this person in mind or a new person, or simply just choosing yourself. Let's also get you a rune. Okay, you have Ansuz. This rune represents communication and truth and messages. So going back to this person and their secret feelings toward you, I feel like they may want to talk or reveal something that they've been thinking about. Maybe there's this unspoken truth or clarity trying to come through between you. I wonder if some of you here are going to be hearing from them soon or receiving an important message around this situation soon. I also think that this could mean to pay close attention to what they say and what they don't say. I just feel like their feelings involve something that needs to be expressed or clarified through more communication. Let's also get some astro dice for you. What else does pile 2 need to know? All right, so you've got March and Saturday. So the month of March and Saturday could be significant times for you. We also have Uranus in the 6th house. So I feel like there's this like unpredictable energy around work and routines and health. So I wonder if either you or this person has an unconventional work style. Like maybe you do best with freedom or flexible schedules or unusual jobs. This could also represent sudden work changes, like job shifts or new responsibilities, or changes that feel a little abrupt in your daily routines. I also think that this is representative of you being this innovative problem solver. Maybe you're good with technology or systems or improving how things will work. And then again, the topic of stress and your nervous system is coming up. I feel like your body reacts quickly to pressure or restrictive environments, so maybe keep this in mind. And the gift here is that you are excellent at creating new, better ways of working or serving others. And the challenge here is that maybe you're still learning to build some stability in your routines so that the constant change doesn't burn you out. Thank you so much, friends. If this reading resonated with you and you'd like to go deeper, I do offer private tarot readings where we can look specifically at your situation. You can also join my channel memberships if you want access to exclusive pick-a-card readings. All of that is linked below. And if you enjoyed today's reading, remember to like, subscribe, and share this with a friend, and let me know in the comments which pile you chose. Thank you so much, friends. So much love, Title Fam, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all. Hi, Pile 3. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. Let's talk about the energy between you. We have Fortitude, and this is Strength. So I feel like the energy between you and this person feels intense, but controlled. It's not explosive, it's not chaotic, but there's definitely a pull. I feel like this is that feeling when two people are drawn to each other, but they're also trying to handle the connection carefully. I feel like someone here is trying to keep their emotions composed, even though the connection stirs something deeper within them. So maybe you notice strong eye contact or attention when you're together, like they're very aware of your presence. Or maybe they try to act calm or casual around you, even when they're clearly interested. I feel like they show quiet support rather than dramatic affection. Maybe they check in on you, or they encourage you, or they're steady in some way. So there's this respect between you, and this connection doesn't feel manipulative or chaotic. I feel like this person feels like you affect them, and so they need to stay grounded. This dynamic is speaking to a situation where there's chemistry, but there's also maturity involved, especially because I feel like either you or this person has been doing a lot of personal growth and stepping away from people-pleasing patterns and really learning to protect their energy. And so with that, I feel like connections can start to feel more intentional and less reactive. And so that's the tone here. We also have Fire Guardian, ignite your passions. So I feel like this tells us something really important about how this connection feels emotionally and energetically. Pile 3, you inspire this person. You ignite something in them, and that's something that isn't just romantic attraction. It's motivation, it's excitement, and it's curiosity about life. Maybe they feel energized after talking to you, like your conversations spark ideas or inspiration. Maybe you remind them of passions or goals that they've neglected, and they feel more confident or alive when they interact with you. I think that you bring a spark of enthusiasm to their routine, and I feel like the moment that you entered their life, they didn't just feel attracted to you, they also felt more awake around you. Next, I want to talk about their secret feelings. We have the Empress in reverse. I feel like this is speaking to their emotional world, and there's something very vulnerable here. I feel like they see you as someone who's very desirable and nurturing and emotionally powerful, but internally they may feel a little insecure about their ability to match that energy. I feel like this person is thinking that, hey, I know this person deserves a lot, and I'm wondering if I'm enough for them. I feel like they feel attracted to you, but they question whether they can meet your standards. Maybe they're worried that they're not emotionally ready for someone like you. Maybe there's a bit of like intimidation that they feel by your confidence or your independence or your creativity. I feel like they compare themselves to other people that you might attract. And for me, I've seen this dynamic happen when someone observes a person who's building their own life and focusing on themselves, maybe raising kids, creating projects, pursuing passions, whatever that looks like. And that kind of independence can be very attractive, but it can also make someone wonder if they measure up, you know? So we also have luck. This one says lime, and we have Capricorn energy here. So I feel like they also see the connection as something that's rare or fortunate. I feel like they feel like meeting you wasn't random, and I feel like Capricorn energy also brings something very practical to the mix. They don't just think about feelings, they think about real life outcomes and long-term potential. So I feel like they feel lucky to have met you. They feel like the connection maybe has appeared unexpectedly, and there's also this energy of them respecting your work ethic or your ambition. They definitely see you as someone who builds things like family, career, stability, whatever that looks like for you. But they just think about whether a relationship with you could work long term. Because Capricorn energy brings us to ask questions like, could this actually become something real? Next, I want to talk about their inner conflict and their pain points. We have Judgment. So I feel like this is someone who's going through a period of personal reflection, or maybe they're evaluating their life in some way right now. I think that they could currently be asking themselves some really big questions about their life direction. Maybe they're rethinking past relationships. What worked? What didn't work? Maybe they're questioning what they actually want from love. I feel like they're trying to grow into a more mature version of themselves, and maybe they feel pressure to make the right choices moving forward. I feel like Judgment is that moment in life when someone thinks, I can't keep repeating the same patterns. And when someone is in that phase, new connections can feel both exciting and serious at the same time. We also have Fox and Ivy, adaptability. So I feel like there's someone who is navigating changing circumstances like we spoke about earlier. I feel like the energy of the Fox is very clever, and it's observant, and it's also strategic. So maybe they're adjusting their behavior depending on how the connection evolves. I think that they watch your reactions carefully before they express their feelings. I also think that they adapt their communication style around you, and they're trying to understand your boundaries and your personality. I think that they're also figuring out how this connection could fit into their life. And I feel like this reminds me of those moments when someone is still figuring out the rules of the dynamic. Again, they're definitely paying attention, pile 3, and they're learning how you operate. Next, I want to talk about their desires and their intentions. We have the 4 of Swords in reverse. So I feel like this is someone who is coming out of a period of emotional rest or healing. Maybe they recently were in a phase where they needed distance from relationships, and so now they're beginning to feel ready to engage again. Maybe they recently ended a relationship and they took time alone. Or maybe they've been focusing on personal healing or self-improvement. I think that this is the energy of them slowly re-entering the dating world, and maybe they're starting to open their heart again. So maybe maybe this is someone who is stretching after a long emotional hibernation period. We also have calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So I think that this brings up this interesting possibility. Both of you may have been manifesting or hoping for a certain kind of relationship, and I feel like the connection appeared unexpectedly. I feel like they've been thinking about how to find a meaningful partner recently, and they've been reflecting on the qualities that they want in a relationship. Maybe they also consciously decided to stop entertaining unhealthy dynamics, and maybe they feel like meeting you fits the kind of relationship that they've been hoping for. I think that sometimes people meet someone and they quietly think, this is the type of person that I've been wanting to meet. Let's talk about what happens next. Let's get some guidance for you. We have the 6 of Chalices, and this is the 6 of Cups. So this brings a very gentle energy here. Maybe this connection is something that's going to continue to develop through simple, sincere interactions rather than dramatic events. I feel like this also can talk about comfort and familiarity. Like maybe your conversations with this person feels easy and natural. Or maybe you feel like you bond over shared memories or life experiences. I feel like they feel emotionally safe around you, and maybe the connection, again, is going to be something that develops gradually rather than quickly. It feels like one of those connections where it doesn't feel forced and more like where two people just naturally enjoy each other's presence. We also have crocodile teeth. Crocodile teeth, lucky in Africa and North America. Said to bring good luck in money matters and very popular among gamblers, crocodile teeth are the go-to charm if you want to attract wealth into your life. Because of the way the crocodile latches onto its prey and doesn't let go, some superstitions say that the teeth also symbolize perseverance and power. How to capture luck? If you want to cash in, wear a fake crocodile tooth necklace. So I feel like this also talks about protection and resilience. I feel like the guidance here is more about you maintaining your emotional boundaries while also allowing connection to unfold. This is you, again, not rushing the connection, letting actions reveal intentions over time, and protecting your emotional energy. Really making sure that the effort is mutual. Pile 3, this is you staying confident in your own path and priorities, and this is you observing consistency rather than relying on potential. For me, this message aligns with something I've learned while building independence and raising a family. The healthiest connections are truly the ones that develop naturally alongside your life instead of disrupting it. Let's get some tea leaf fortune cards for you. We have heart, love, deep affection, and caring. We also have hills, obstacles to overcome. Pale, time to get out of a situation. This might be for some of you here, but there might be some of you here who are already in a committed relationship, and I do not judge anyone on my channel. I just literally share the messages that come through. So if this is you, this could be, I don't know if you feel like you want to get out of your situation and be with this person. That could just be for some of you here. We also have fly, a period of ill health, depression. And then we have cup, you should accept valid criticism. So again, I feel like with pale here, It could be time to leave or emotionally detach from a situation that isn't serving you. I think that with Hills here, maybe the situation has real obstacles, and maybe progress with this is going to require effort and some perspective shifts. Now, with Heart here, I feel like genuine feelings are involved. Love, care, deep emotional investment is here. And we also have Cup. So maybe like constructive feedback or truth needs to be accepted on somebody's part in order for something to improve. So I feel like overall here, there are real feelings here, but the connection also comes with challenges and lessons in honesty. And so I think that the growth, so I feel like growth here could require listening to hard truths or recognizing when it's healthier to step away. Let's also get you a rune. Let's get you a rune. Okay, we have Jera. So this is the rune of cycles and harvest and results compounding over time. So I think that things are going to unfold naturally with this, right, in time, and it's not going to be rushed like we spoke about earlier. I also think that effort is going to eventually bring results, but again, patience is required here, Pile 4, Pile 3. I also think that the situation may be a part of a larger life cycle or a karmic pattern. Maybe what's happening now is going to lead you toward a future outcome or some sort of harvest. So I think, again, you are going to see progress and more clarity, and it's going to happen gradually over time. And I think that what you've invested emotionally or energetically will eventually show its results. But again, timing is key here. Let's get some Astrodice for you. Okay, so we have December, and we have Sunday, Scorpio, and I feel like this is landing on Sagittarius too. So Scorpio, Sagittarius energy could be significant here. Sunday, December, those could be significant times for you as well. We also have the South Node in the 3rd house. So this is talking about old patterns around thinking and communication and your immediate environment. I think that many of you here are likely very naturally talented with information and talking and communication, things like writing, speaking, learning, things like analyzing. But I think that this can also come with a tendency to overthink or over-explain or get caught in the small details or maybe even gossip. I think that, I wonder if any of you here, this is somebody that you're familiar with already in terms of maybe it's a friend of your siblings, or it's a neighbor or somebody that you've met within local community dynamics. But I feel like your growth path here is more towards bigger meaning and wisdom and travel and teaching and trusting a broader perspective, everything 9th house. So I feel like you are moving from constant mental chatter and activity and maybe short-term thinking into more of this broader big picture thinking, higher truth, kind of this bigger life vision type of thinking energy as well. Thank you so much, friends. If this reading resonated with you and you'd like to go deeper, I do offer private tarot readings where we can look specifically at your situation. You can also join the channel membership if you want access to exclusive pick-a-card readings. All of that is linked below for you, friends. And if you enjoyed today's reading, remember to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which pile you chose. So much love, Tidal fam. I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends. Love y'all. Hi, Pile 4. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. Let's talk about the energy between you two. We have Justice. So the energy between you and this person feels very aware and very conscious. This isn't the type of connection where people act purely on impulse. I feel like someone here is constantly evaluating the situation. I feel like this person asks, is this fair? Is this balanced? Is this the right choice? So between you, there might be this dynamic where things feel thoughtful, but slightly restrained. I think that both of you are careful about how you treat each other. There's this mutual respect. I also think that someone is analyzing whether this connection makes sense long-term. You may be both very aware of boundaries or responsibilities, things like family or work or existing commitments. And I feel like someone doesn't want to make promises that they can't keep. So I feel like this could be a connection that feels important enough that someone thinks that they need to handle this the right way. I feel like I've seen this energy when a relationship feels meaningful, but also requires mature decisions instead of just following emotions. We also have trader, exchange energy to create abundance. So I feel like this deepens that theme of balance. I feel like the connection between you is about exchange. It's about both people noticing what they give and what they receive. This definitely isn't a one-sided dynamic where someone is blindly chasing the other. I feel like between you guys, conversations feel like equal participation and both people share and both people listen. I feel like you notice whether the effort is mutual, and you notice who initiates and who responds and who shows interest. There's like this unspoken awareness, the emotional investment at play here. And I think that both of you are trying to protect your time and your energy. I feel like for me, this reminds me of learning how to step out of people-pleasing patterns, because once you start valuing your own energy, you naturally begin paying attention to whether relationships feel reciprocal. And I feel like this connection has that awareness that's built into it already, which is really nice. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is their secret feelings. We have the Hierophant in reverse. I feel like there's something interesting about how they feel toward you. I feel like they might see this connection as different than their usual relationship patterns. Maybe this is someone who's stepping outside of traditional expectations. I wonder if they feel attracted to you even if the connection doesn't feel like their normal type on paper. Maybe the relationship doesn't follow typical dating rules, or maybe the timing or the circumstances are unconventional. I feel like they feel drawn to your individuality or your unique perspective. And so maybe they're questioning traditional commitment structures. Maybe they're wondering what kind of relationship they actually want. I feel like this is somebody who is thinking that this connection feels different than what they expected. And again, they're trying to handle it with care. We also have passion, beetroot, and we have Leo energy here. So despite their unconventional thoughts about relationships, I feel like the attraction here feels strong and noticeable, pile 4. Leo energy is confident, it's expressive, and it's magnetic. So I feel like they likely feel this clear physical or emotional spark with you. I feel like they feel energized when they interact with you, and they notice your presence immediately, the moment that you walk into a room or the moment that you come up in conversation. I feel like they admire your personality or your confidence, and they definitely feel this romantic and physical pull toward you. For me, I've noticed that sometimes people can feel this kind of attraction even when they're still trying to figure out what they want from relationships. And so the attraction can be obvious while the direction of the relationship is uncertain. So let's dive into their inner conflict and their pain points. We have the 9 of Swords in reverse. So I feel like this is someone who has recently been working through things like anxiety and stress and feeling this emotional pressure. Maybe they went through a period where their relationships or their life situations caused a lot of overthinking. And so I feel like they're starting to move out of that mindset, and like maybe they've previously worried about relationships going wrong, or they've experienced stress from past relationship drama. Maybe they're trying to heal or let go of negative thinking patterns, or they're learning not to catastrophize situations anymore. I feel like this is someone who's thinking that they don't want to go back to the kind of emotional stress that they experienced before. And we also have the Antelope and Wheat, nourishment. So I feel like there's this deeper emotional need here. I feel like they want relationships that feel supportive and nourishing and not draining. I feel like Antelope energy is sensitive and is very aware of its environment. So I feel like this person may be very cautious about where they place their emotional energy. I feel like they pay attention to whether a relationship feels peaceful or stressful. I feel like they want emotional encouragement rather than criticism. And they want to feel supported in their personal goals. And maybe they avoid connections that feel emotionally exhausting. For me, I've definitely reached a state. For me, I can totally relate to this because I've definitely reached stages in my life where my relationships needed to feel calm and nourishing rather than dramatic. So let's talk about their desires and their intentions. We have the Lovers in reverse. So I feel like there's this uncertainty about commitment or compatibility. And now that doesn't always mean lack of feelings. It just means that someone is unsure of whether the relationship aligns with their values or their current life direction. So for example, maybe they feel attracted to you, but they question whether the relationship would work long term. Or maybe they're worried about making the wrong relationship decision. I feel like this person feels emotionally pulled in a couple different directions, and maybe they're unsure whether the connection fits their life right now. I feel like maybe their internal dialogue sounds something like, I feel something, but is this the right choice? We also have give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. I feel like despite their uncertainty, they may still feel the connection deserves exploring. They're not necessarily closing the door, pile 4, but I feel like they may be open to seeing what develops naturally. Like maybe they're willing to continue spending time together to see where things go. Or maybe they want to understand the connection better before making decisions. Maybe they believe relationships require some effort rather than instant perfection. And maybe they want to try building the connection slowly. I feel like they're thinking that maybe you should see where things go instead of deciding too quickly. Next, I want to talk about what happens next for you and get some guidance for you. We have the One of Chalices, and this is the Ace of Cups. So this is actually really positive, pile 4, because it represents the possibility of this genuine emotional connection developing with this person and yourself. But it also reminds you that love works best when it flows naturally rather than being pushed or forced. So I think that maybe this could be new emotional conversations opening up between you two, or maybe the connection will deepen through honest communication. Maybe you're going to notice moments of vulnerability from them. And I also feel like the relationship could gradually become more emotionally expressive. I feel like for me, Ace of Cups energy comes up when a connection has the potential to become something heartfelt if both people allow more emotional openness. We also have Jade. And this one says, Jade, lucky in several cultures around the world. Dress lucky. The stone of protection and purity, jade is good for grounding, creating balance, and attracting good fortune. Jade is also associated with nobility and considered to be the protector of both the living and the dead. It features in many different cultures, from being highly valued in China, where it is given to newborns, to being associated with rulership by the classic Mayans. It is used in skincare as a face roller or sculpting tool. How to capture luck: wear a jade bracelet for protection and to attract love. So when I think of jade, I think about its association with wisdom and patience and long-term prosperity. So I feel like the guidance here is about valuing yourself and allowing your relationship to grow at a healthy pace. So again, the message here is to not rush emotional outcomes, to let the connection evolve naturally, and to protect your emotional well-being, and to choose relationships that feel balanced. Maybe you want to focus on relationships that bring you peace and growth, and just allow people to reveal their true intentions through consistent actions. I feel like this kind of energy is the kind of wisdom that you develop after you navigate complex relationships and when you learn to value mutual respect and emotional clarity. Let's get some tea leaf fortune cards here. Okay, you have needle and thread, a sincere wish will be granted. Tiger, doing something risky, taking a chance. Rose, romance is in the air. Mule, someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. And we have crib, birth or conception of a child or enterprise. If you're not trying to get pregnant, you know what to do. Because some of you here could be either pregnant with an idea, a new business venture, right? Could be a birth of a business, but this could also quite literally represent the birth of a child or becoming pregnant or someone in the connection becoming pregnant. That could just be for like some of you here, right? So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Don't force any insights that don't resonate. Feel like with needle and thread here, a wish or a hope that you had, it might start coming together sooner than you expect. With tiger here, I feel like again, this may require something that this connection could require taking a bold risk or taking a courageous step forward. Rose, romance is in the air, so I think this is pretty straightforward. Romantic energy or attraction is definitely present here. We also have mule, and with this, I feel like someone in this connection may have some stubbornness and may be resistant to change, but that doesn't mean that they won't change. There's just resistance here. And then we also have crib, birth or conception of a child or enterprise. So again, this could lead to the beginning of something new, a new relationship, a new emotional chapter, a new creative venture, a new birth of a child, whatever resonates with your situation. But I think that overall here, some sort of heartfelt desire around romance could begin to materialize. And I think that it's going to require bravery and patience with someone who could be a little slow or resistant to change. Let's get you a rune. You have Awaz. The interesting thing is Awaz is the rune of movement and partnership and progress. So I think that this represents you having forward movement in the situation after a period of stagnation. I think that this could also represent a partnership or maybe two people working together towards something. This also represents gradual but steady progress and not necessarily instant change. I also feel like this could represent a shift or a trip or a change in circumstances that really moves things along. So I think that the energy is about finally starting to move forward through cooperation or connection. Let's get some astro dice. What else does pile 4 need to know? Okay, so we have December and we have Capricorn, and then we also have Mercury in the 7th house here. So I feel like this is talking about communication in your relationships. I feel like your relationship is going to thrive on conversations. So I think that talking things through is going to be really important here. I also think that this represents you attracting intelligent, communicative, and mentally stimulating partners. I also think that you have a strong ability for negotiation, mediation, and really understanding both sides. And I also think that maybe your connections and your partnerships will revolve around ideas or planning or collaboration of some sort. So I think that your gift is this skill at communicating and problem solving within relationships. And I think that some challenges to look out for here could be to avoid overanalyzing your partner or the relationship instead of feeling it. Thank you so much, friends. If this resonated with you and you'd like to go deeper, I do offer private tarot readings where we can look specifically at your situation. You can also join the channel membership if you want access to exclusive pick-a-card readings. All of that is linked below. And if you enjoyed today's reading, remember to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Let me know in the comments which pile you chose. I'd love to chat with you all in the comments. So much love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all.